In an effort to get the truck slammed to the ground, I decided to buy this kit, 3-inch blocks. And what it's going to do is it's going to go between the axle and the springs. It's going to drop it down. Right now, here's where I am. It's basically, gosh, out of focus. Around 22.5 inches. And that's using a square on the concrete below. We'll see how it turns out. I think my helper's lost it over there. Okay, so you take the old U-bolts off and drop the bracket. It's pretty simple. Not a whole lot to that. Take the bolt off on the front up here. As you can see, that this is a size nut. They're 18 millimeters. We're doing it with a ratchet, so nothing fancy. And the cool thing is, if you look at the differential code, it's a 373 8.8 with limited slip. So it's a big bonus. So it's gonna be a good pulling truck. Well, we had a minor setback. The lowering blocks, this area around here, is too small to fit on the leaf springs for the centering. So I'm going to open it up, drill it out a little bit, so I can go ahead and get it to fit on there. It's not going to be perfect. I don't like the idea of I don't like the aluminum blocks in the first place, but it's just going to be for time being until I make something probably out of steel. As a co-worker says at work, it ain't just like talking, but the results are pretty dang cool. So if you look, see, I've got the same square. Now I'm right at 20.25, maybe a little bit less than that. Love it. Not going to do a full video of it until I drop the front. But it's definitely low. I love it. Okay, since I've lowered the rear suspension on the truck, I'm going to need to lower the front suspension. There's other videos out there that show you how to do that, but basically, bear with me, there's not a lot of light under here. But basically, it's a torsion suspension. So the torsion bar comes back here. You can see that it's the hex of it there. And the bolt that is right here is what adjusts the torsion. It puts the tension on the torsion bar. What most people do is they just lower, they twist. What most people do is they will take and loosen it, which is turning it facing the bolt. That would be counterclockwise, and they'll be able to turn it counterclockwise a number of turns, and I think most people are around, the maximum is about 9. And so what it'll do is it'll take the tension off of that torsion bar, and it'll lower the truck. All right, so what I did was I didn't connect it, but what I did was I took and put a tape measure in a certain spot and marked the spot. And I measured down. As you can see, it's, the light will ever get right. It's 8.25 inches. Wow, it's too much light. Let's see. There we go. So it's 8.25 inches. Now I'm not taking into account the thickness of the tape measure itself. I really don't care because I'm going to leave it like it is. And I've also put in an angle measuring device that I got from Lowe's, and it's showing that the angle is off. Again, bad lighting. This is going to be a train wreck. But you can see that it's about 5 degrees or so. And that's just a second measurement to see how close I get it to being level. It's probably going to have more, it's probably going to be lowered more in the rear than the front. But that's okay too. It'll still look cool. Alright, so what I want to do is, I'm not going to be able to do this like most everything else. I'm not going to be able to do this and video it at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that bolt right there, as you can see, that one right there. And I've marked it. You can also see that I've marked it with a mark, so I know how many turns. Okay, grief. As you can see, I put a mark on it and marked the chassis so that I can see how many turns I've actually turned it. So I'm going to turn it one time, being very careful to not ratchet the ratchet wrench that I'm going to use. It's a 13mm socket that goes on it. So I'm going to be really careful just to count the number of turns. I'm going to go to about 5 and see how much it's dropped. And I'll resume the video then. Okay, I did 5 turns on the bolt. Didn't really do a whole lot. So then I saw another video and it said that it just showed taking the bolt entirely out. So I took the bolt entirely out, and so now I'm at 7 1/8. So it dropped at 1 1/8 inches, and from what I understand, it will be a lot better. Once I start driving, it'll actually start lowering down even more. So I think that'll work out pretty good. Plus, you know, that's as far down as I can go unless I get one of the lowering. There's a little bar that goes in there at the end, on the end of the arm, on the torsion bar. So you would basically replace the whole thing, and it would allow you to drop it even further. But I'm really not that concerned about it right now. If I need to do that, I can always do it in the future. So I think when I do the other side, maybe it'll even be a little bit better. Right now, you can definitely tell the other side's higher. So maybe when I get it done, it'll be a lot better. So we'll see. Thanks for watching.